Get ready.
What's up, guys? My name is Robert. I'm joined today by Alpha Villains Riley and soon off the Kingdom when he gets here. How you guys doing?
Hey, man, it's great to be back. Rob, salute to you. Riley, it's good to be here, man. It's an opportunity for me to connect with you guys and your audience. We got a good topic today, man. Let's go.
Yeah, let's get rolling, guys. So today we're going to talk about like why guys worship women. Just kind of go into why that is, and kind of figure out how to avoid that if you're that guy who's worshiping women. So let Alpha Villains get started. I'm gonna move it over to you, Riley, and then to me.
Salute,
So,
salute. Yeah,
so
yeah,
what do you?
yeah.
Why do you think why do you think men worship women?
You know, worship is such a strong word, man. And, I think it's a very fine line. And this is a great topic because there's a lot of gray areas. Because I think the three of us here in your audience, for the most part, we all love women. We enjoy women. We enjoy the way they smell, the way that they
Mm-hmm.
feel, the way that they look, the little games that they play. See, a lot of guys don't like female nature or the games that women plays because they don't understand the game, right? So when they get coaching from Rob, they get coaching from somebody who is credible, they get to enjoy the game, right? So I think men worship women because they don't understand who women truly are. They are
Mm-hmm.
mesmerized by their looks. They're mesmerized by the fact that we know that they're amazing. They feel good, pussy's great, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have respect for something that can potentially be dangerous. So it's kind of like the water, right? If you go swimming out in the ocean, if you don't respect the water, you're going to get hurt or you can possibly die. So I think men worship women because they still don't understand a woman's nature in accordance to the man. Now, every woman has a female nature, but every woman is different according to the man that she's with. So if you are a man who understands himself, who's leading the relationship, who's masculine, etc., that woman who has female nature isn't relevant to the man. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like a dog, right? You guys get a pit bull and shit. They're known to turn on their masters, but it really depends on the master who's training the bitch. So
Right. Good
that's all it
analogy.
is,
Good
man.
analogy.
Yeah, yeah.
No, to build upon that too, I think, I don't know, like you said, we're so guys who worship women are so mesmerized. They're like, I think they're starving, craving sex and everything. And they put sex as like the number one thing in their life that, they will do whatever, like a woman, they'll do whatever it takes to get it, even if it means just like pandering to a woman and everything. And that could be a really bad thing because these guys can be, like you said, women can play games with these guys because they know the guys are just fiending for those titties and booty,
Let's
and
go.
that can get them stuck. And plus since they're worshiping the women, they're not worshiping themselves. They're not like, I think they're forgetting who they are as men.
Yeah, back in the day, man, I'm 48 years old. There's nothing wrong with playing games with a woman, right? So since if you understand a woman, she plays games in the beginning phases, right? Like if you're not looking for a relationship, you want to just smash the woman. There's nothing wrong with that, smashing the woman because you really find her attractive. There's nothing wrong with playing games with her as well, fighting fire with fire. Now, when I say games, I'm not saying silly shit, right? Because we're all men here. We want men to be mature. We want men to be honest, but there's a time and place for honesty with women, right? So if you're on a first date, you don't have to tell the bitch exactly what you want, how many kids you want, and all that shit. See, because a lot of guys, they're mad at women for something that they don't even want. You don't even know if her pussy stinks. You don't even know if you want to bang her after you bust a nut. So guys worship women again from the programming, the TV, all of that shit. So we kind of forget who they are. They fart, they shit, they stink. When they get in the shower, they don't look exactly the same, right? So
Mm-hmm.
men really need to remember that. And now there's nothing wrong with wanting pussy, man, wanting sex. There's nothing wrong with it, guys. I mean, I want you guys to understand if you're hungry, you got a lot of testosterone, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a it's your approach. And what I like what you said, Robin, I'll pass the ball to Riley. I like what you said. You said, yo, a lot of guys are not worshiping themselves, right? They're not giving themselves enough importance. Sometimes when guys chase pussy or chase sex, we tend to lose our backbone. We tend to lose our spine, right? We kind of emasculate ourselves because we think women will be receptive to that. And I think women are receptive to that only because simps and weak guys are doing that shit on the internet. So when guys see it on TikTok and shit doing silly shit, we think that that's the shit that we're supposed to do. But in actuality, that's not the case. It's easy for a man to stand out as long as he is standing on his square. And he has to understand too, man, if the woman doesn't want to have sex with you, she's not attracted to you because you are a masculine man and you're not going to do anything silly, it's time to move on, man. And you'll go chase somebody else whose pussy you want to smell and all that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It is what it
What do you
is.
have to say, Riley?
Riley.
Right along with what AV's saying, I mean, with me, it could what I got is it could be a scarcity mindset and golden pussy syndrome. I mean, there's more than one woman in the world. There's a billion different women in the world. You just can't focus on one. And what in my case, I think what it came down to is that I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. It's like you're like in a trance.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's
me a couple times, and how I ended up in where I am now, which better place. But
sure,
that's how I like example. One of them got me into a speeding ticket because I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, really? How was that?
I was long story short, I was on vacation. I was coming back. I asked the chick out. I come to find out like she had no intentions whatsoever to go out with me. And then because I wasn't paying attention to the speed limit, I was doing 70 and the 55 and got pulled over by the state police up in Osneek, about 2 hours from where I'm at. And luckily the cop knocked it down 5 miles, and I only got just a written ticket.
Sure.
So,
sure.
Right. No, that's good.
It was a lesson learned, though.
Yeah.
True. I mean, there is other reasons and other women that I've done stupid shit with. I mean, but like I said, it comes down to scarcity mindset and the golden pussy syndrome. I mean, that's what it is. So,
facts.
Right. I know I got to be careful too, because like here in Arizona, like in the university area, a lot of the college girls wear the bikinis and stuff, walking down the streets. I sometimes get distracted and keep myself.
Listen, man.
But I maintain my focus. That's all that matters.
Yeah,
but
man.
No, I want to mention something that you had said earlier, Alpha Villains. You mentioned something about like the media and stuff like that. I growing up as a kid, being a teenager, I actually believe, I think that's where like that put me on the path, because I thought there was some ideal way that men had to be in order to get a woman's attention and stuff. And a lot of that I saw like through I'm watching the stuff on the the movies and stuff like that. And like I felt like maybe you had to be the guy who goes out there and chase the girl, or you had to go be the guy who is is there for her when she has a broken heart and everything. So then I thought like if you do that, like she'll respect you for that, but really she hated all that. That was a major turnoff.
Absolutely, man. And shout out to Riley too for rocking the Be the Proof. I appreciate you, my G, supporting the brand. But nah, man, listen, man, I think we've beaten ourselves up enough, right? This community, the guys that have been frustrated. I think it's time for us to kind of come to terms that most of us have been lied to. Like you said, when we were growing up, we were watching those romance novels and shit, and we see how the women are receptive to that. They see the swashling hero type doing all the simpish shit, but in the real world it doesn't necessarily work, right? A woman will tell you, yeah, that's what I want, but as soon as you do it, she's turned off by you. And something that Riley said, I've been through a lot of shit with different girls, and I was there, now I'm in a better place. We're all, sometimes we're all trying to become better, man. You know what I mean? I'm
not Alfie in the house. Sorry.
Bing bong. What's good, Fee?
Yeah, man. Alfie, man.
Yeah,
welcome.
Rock on, bro.
Nah, Riley to join the show too.
Yeah, be the proof, baby. Nah, but yeah, man. So we all trying to strive for something new, man. But like I was saying, Fee, like a lot of guys worship women because they don't understand women, right? So they're worshiping something that they think is deserving of worship. They think that women are receptive to those type of things, and They're really not, man. And sometimes we still think that because there's so many women out there, we think that there's going to be that one woman that's going to be receptive to doing the things that we inherently want to do, because we all know that men are more romantic than women and shit. You know, I know a lot of guys, we understand love. That's why we're not encouraging guys to be in love. But if love was a safe place, there's nothing wrong with loving a woman, man. In my view, there's nothing wrong with loving a woman, but it's the continuous behaviors that we consistently see, the stories, the coaching, and all that shit, that makes us a little bit jaded towards the emotion of love, man. So when it comes with worshiping and love and all that shit, it's not in a man's best interest to love or worship anything in the flesh. Because at the end of the day, when you love and you worship something, you're really leaving yourself vulnerable. And then when you're vulnerable, you're emotional, and you can't be the rock that she's going to need.
What's up, Alfie? You got the limelight now, my friend.
Go.
What do you have to say on this? Why do you think causes men to
I
worship
think you're on
women?
mute, my G.
Oh,
you hear me?
Yeah, we
Got
can
you.
hear you. You're live. Awesome.
This is the problem. I was going to actually make a video about this. The problem with the love thing is, excuse me, men don't know how to love a woman the way a man's supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the problem. Like and I tell men this before too. Like when you tell a woman that I love you, and she says I love you too, Afi, we don't mean the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But we mistake that how we feel it's the same way. So it's like, man, it's like when they fall in love, they love like a woman.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know how to fall in love. They don't know how to love a woman like a man. They get, like the romantic. They get more into the dream than the woman do.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I agree with you on that. Yeah, that's true. Well taken. That's a really good point.
Men furnish the woman's dream, bro.
Mm-hmm.
They furnishing the white picket fence, they picking everything out because we want to be the providers. We want to make sure that the woman is comfortable. And there's nothing wrong with that. But again, because you're going at it like Riley said, you're passing the speed limit, you're not paying attention to shit, then you get burned. Now you get mad at the bitch. So basically, in a nutshell, it really falls back on us. And as we continue to learn, we have conversations like this. You got to remember, like Afi said, men get more vested and more involved in the dream that they think a woman wants, but in actuality, they want the fucking opposite. Now, they're not going to tell you they want the opposite, because why would they, right? Because once they tell you about the opposite, then they're fucked. So they're always going to want to challenge you. So it's up to us to remind ourselves and know and not act on what we know. Just know. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they don't. Sometimes the women don't know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
She don't know. She does. What be sometimes? Most of the time, she don't know nothing.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I think a lot of the problems that men have with them is because they worship them. That's where a lot of their problems probably stem from. When you think so, guys, when you guys were talking about all this like came to mind. When, because we worship women so much, we have problems being, having success with women.
Let me ask you this, Rob, for your audience. Let's break that down, because
Okay.
worship for the four of us, each of us can mean something different. Give us an example. You coach guys. Give us some, and Afi coaches guys as well. What do you mean by worship, right? For your audience, like, so how does a guy demonstrate that he's worshiping a woman?
Well, I think he kind of, he goes out of his, like, he'll do something, he'll be someone he's not, just to please her. Like, I mean, because that's, like, that was me. Like, so one thing I had back in the day, like, when I go out on the first date, because I wanted to win the woman's approval over and everything, I would not be who I am, and I would do this, like, gentleman, ideal type of thing that, I was taught to do, just to earn no respect from a woman. And I realized that, like, for me, like, that got me nowhere. And like when I learned to kind of work on that, and just kind of learn to be more comfortable, like, I was cool. And then also, like, when when a woman told me to do something, say I was interested in her, I'd be that guy who'd go the extra mile to do it, even though I didn't want to do it, and it just took a burden out of me, and I was just blind. So that's some of the stuff that I've done.
Yeah, I've done that as well. I think for me, I think worshiping a woman is really putting her before yourself, right? Loving
Right,
her,
exactly. Yeah,
putting
yeah.
her needs before yours. And I'm not talking about being chivalrous. I'm not talking about if the broad likes tacos and shit, you're not taking her to a Mexican restaurant. I'm not talking about doing nice things for her if she earns it. I'm talking about really putting yourself first. Like if you got a certain amount of money and the broad is broke and shit and she's feeling down, you're taking your last $100 to take her out to the movies just to make her feel good. Then it's like you're on the path of worshiping the woman because you're putting her first. Now, if the shoe was on the other foot, if you got game, she'll may do that. But most guys and most women today, quite frankly, are very selfish. So it's her money and it's our money, right? So at the end of the day, man, I think you're right, man. You know, guys worship women when they get out of their comfort zones and they do things that they don't necessarily want to do for trying to please a woman, where in actuality women don't appreciate anything that comes easy to them, quite frankly. This is why when all those simps and everybody likes pictures and shit like that, they turn a blind eye because it's not something that they want. They need the attention, but it really matters the right attention from the right person.
Right.
I got a question for everybody on the panel too. This is a good question.
Okay.
What was your best experience? What was your best experience from being in love?
Who wants to start? Afi? I mean, or
That's a
Alpha
good
Villain?
one.
We'll go you first.
Let me. Okay, my best experience. I've had. I've said this on my show. I wouldn't say I'm a hopeless romantic, but I could definitely appreciate love. Being 48 years old and shit, and living in a different era. Women appreciated love too, right? So when a woman really was in love with me and shit, she really loved me, and I felt that. So for me, the most time, the best, I guess the most, one of my fondest memories of being in love or having a woman love me was just that feeling, man. Just kind of like, if I was feeling down on some serious shit, she would be there for me to support me, right? Despite me having my ups and downs, losing my job, fucking up my credit, making some mistakes as young men do, being reckless, seeing that person have my back despite the ups and the downs. That was my fondest moment of love, not necessarily being in love, because even when I had those fond moments, I was still doing bad shit, cheating, doing all my shit, right? But my fondest moment of love to me back then was when a woman would really had my back, man. You know what I mean? If I didn't have it, she had it. You know what I'm saying? And then, and she really stuck with me because she saw my vision and she admired my passion towards my vision. Even though she couldn't see my goals and shit, she admired, and it actually turned her on how passionate I was about something that she couldn't see or touch. That to me bought her fucking time. And to this day, it's broads in my past that still hold a special place in my heart because they still supported me like a kid trying to chase after a dream, man. And then when I do blow up and shit, they gonna get something special because I'll never forget that. So those are my fondest moments of love. And that's why, I still like love, but I know I gotta love myself first, so I'll never put myself in that position again.
Yeah, right.
That was a fire upload right there. Just that whole part, boom.
I'll be spitting and I just forget, man.
Yeah, you get into the flow of things.
Good front angle right there. Clip that, boom. Your experience with love.
Bad. I'm gonna do that.
There it is.
Go, Riley. We'll let you take the floor now.
Riley.
Yeah, come on, Riley.
Let's go.
So with my fondest memories now, just to preempt whatever. I've only been in one relationship, not that it fucking matters, but the best feelings that I gotten from that relationship, which is it felt, being wanted, being loved, like tiling off of what AV said, but also felt like, they were like your ride to die, if something happens, they'd be there for you.
Sure.
And it was nice during that time. I mean, I experienced stuff that I never thought that I would actually experience in that relationship, and I ended up doing it in that relationship anyways.
Sure.
So that was fun. But also in the same sense, what AV was just talking about, I got a buddy now who's married, who's basically what AV just described is what's going on now, and they're ride to die, everything he said, and it's going well with him. So,
Yeah.
but with me, it's it's just being happy, experiencing new things, just making sure that I'm not like being too what's the word? Being too self not self-centered, but like being too
Self-absorbed.
thank you. Yes, self-absorbed. There we go. Yes, that. So I had to make sure I watched that a little bit because but
What I
besides
will
that, yeah.
what I will say that I want to say something to you, Riley, man. You said something about being happy and stuff like that. Moving forward, now that you're on your road to progression and becoming better, and it doesn't matter if you've only been in one relationship, man, that's fine. You got to remember, man, next time moving forward, as you continue to become better, man, there's no better feeling than sharing your happiness with someone. It's different to be happy with someone and is another to be sharing your happiness with someone, because what happens if the bitch leaves or you get tired of the bitch, you still happy because I'm sharing with you. Now, I'm not saying that a woman can't make you happier, or I'm not saying you guys both can't be happy, because I've been on both sides of that coin. But the safest place for a man is to be happy, to be content, and to share. So when your cup is full, you can share it with her. And it's no big deal because you still got more. Because you never know, man. These bitches will flake on you like nothing. And you might get tired of her.
Yep.
So as you continue to become stronger and better, man, just know that when you do want to get back into a relationship and you do want to embrace love, man, make sure that you are happy enough and have enough happiness within yourself to be able to share with someone. That way, whether she leaves or goes, or you get tired of her ass, you still good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. One thing I noticed too, when you learn to when you just focus on your life and, learn to kind of be by yourself a lot more and learn to be happy with being alone. You're going to be happy regardless of where you are when you meet a person next time and everything. That's what I've noticed, like on my personal development journey, like the past couple of years, was that like when I became this kind of when it took action in my life and kind of had the opportunity to be okay with just being alone and just learn to accept that and not have to rely on others, like develop that own that old internal happiness and self-love for yourself. And sometimes that you may be fall back into your old state of mind, but you get, like I said, but once you have that, since you're able to pick yourself back up and move along a lot more easier when you can get there.
Yeah, man. There's nothing like that, man. But we all kind of go back. Sometimes you got to take a step back to take two forward. We all have our days and shit like that. Sometimes I still get in my head and think about the good old days, but those days are gone, man. And I talk to my tribe, I talk to Afi, I talk to myself, I talk to God, and I just try to ask for strength. So when I talk to my tribe, I talk to my boys, they remind me, right? They remind me of what's the alternative, AV? Do you want to go back to something that was never there? Right? Because sometimes a lot of guys want to go back to the past, to something to try to fix it, or maybe you could have done something a little different, because we always take shit and we always be accountable for shit. But if it wasn't there then, it's not going to be there now. Think, especially if you're a different person, you're a better man. If you're worse than you were back then maybe you got a shot with the bitch. But if you're better, you've been through more experiences, you've learned some new shit, why would you want to go backwards? It's always forward.
Mm-hmm. Right. No, that's a very interesting point you bring up there.
What about you, King Fee?
Yeah, what about you, King Fee?
Shit, man. For me, it's biggest experience I had is I didn't like it. That was
No.
because I'm a control freak, and you don't
God.
have much of that when you in love. It's impossible. It's impossible. You can't be in love and be in control. That don't even make sense. It's impossible. It's impossible, bro.
Yeah.
If you in love with your girl, and it could just be something regular. It can be you really want to watch the game, but she really wants you to go to her, her college recital or some shit. That's something that's very important. But then you on your man shit like, I want to watch the game. It's the playoffs. And, you're going to get some pushback, or you're going to eat that so you won't get the pushback and go with her to it. But then on the ride home, she gets mad about something else. Now you pissed off.
Yeah.
Yo, Fee, let me ask you this, me knowing you. Let me ask you this, man. This is a good question for you, man, because what you just said was so crazy. Because do you think, because you're such a good person, you're very giving, you're very generous with your information, you're very generous, you're a loving person. Do you think that you don't like love because when you do love, you love too much, and maybe the bitch doesn't deserve it? Because you said if something really means something for somebody, you're gonna do it because wholeheartedly that's who you are. But you're gonna be pissed about it because that's who you are. Is that one of the reasons too why you don't necessarily like love? I guess in this context right now, because I know it goes deeper than that.
It really all boiled down to the same like circle, like control, entitlement, like
right.
Like I think they had that video the other day, like the girl was saying, like, I want to do stuff for a woman, nice things, sweet things, but I don't want it to be my job though. I don't want it. So guess what? So if I'm a good dude, I can think about a woman and then boom.
Right.
Here, I got you some flowers on the way home. Boom, for no reason. All right, so that's June. So if I'm in love, this is my girlfriend, and I do that every Friday. So then I'm giving out flowers for four Fridays in a row, and then I missed the fifth one, and now we got a problem. Even though I didn't spend 4, I didn't. You know what I'm saying? Just that kind of entitlement. So now she think it's a problem, or she like, damn, you get my flowers. Well, damn, like I didn't already see. On the other hand, I didn't got one. I didn't gave off one, and then this person is super grateful because I got him flowers for no reason. But this one, I did that 4 times. But the entitlement, I didn't outdid my old self. But since they think they're supposed to get it, now I'm the 5th time I'm in trouble and shit.
See?
Right. So you like to, it sounds like you like to do genuine things, but if you forget to do one thing, you're thinking the entitlement because you feel like the lady's entitlement, that complicates everything. Right? Am I listening to you correctly on that?
Yeah, you become a woman's property, bro. Whether she's crazy about it, weird about it, stalker, it doesn't matter, bro. In her mind, you're actually her property. And when girls are in love with you, you can feel that they feel like that. It doesn't matter that they say it. You can feel like, damn, my bitch, I'm your property. Like, who was that on the phone? She doesn't really care about who it is. Is there a threat on that phone? You were just
right. No, I hear you.
No. They don't really care if it was which homeboy
That's what you're talking about.
They don't care. Oh, who was that on the phone? Like they don't care. Oh, that was Ronald. Like they don't care. They care that you seemed like you was having too much fun and you wasn't talking to me. So who was that person?
Listen, man. Listen to me. This guy's always sparking me up, getting me hyped.
Yeah, no, I got something. I
got some shit too, real quick, because I'm gonna forget real quick. You see I know Afi well, but what I'm gathering for the audience, I'm trying to break shit down. From what I gather, Afi's basically saying you become a woman's property and they become entitled. So he's genuinely a good person. He's a giving person, but he doesn't want to feel obligated to give. Just because I'm genuinely a giving person, you shouldn't expect it, right? And number 2, from what I'm gathering too, most women are not appreciative for shit like that. So if I got to do it 4 Fridays in a row and I missed the 5th Friday because I was late or I just forgot, you don't appreciate the last 4. It's the 5th one that you were waiting for. So that basically negates, because I missed the 5th one, you just took away my whole last month. So I hear exactly what you're saying. That kind of goes hand in hand with worshiping. when you do shit like that, when you worship a woman, when you start to do things for a woman to become her property, to do things that you're anticipating that she's gonna like, it's a hamster wheel, man. And this is why it doesn't benefit the man. Then the man gets passive aggressive, he gets angry at the bitch. And then now, once you forget that fifth flower bouquet, now things go awry, and then you don't know what the hell happened. I hear what you're saying, man. Sorry about that. I'm gonna forget. So
y'all know I told this story before, but I learned that lesson. The game about it is because you can do it too. I learned that without going through it, and it was such a strong lesson that it affected my life from that point on up until today. And I
see,
so you don't always gotta hit rock bottom and now what did I learn? What is the mission? Like, no, this shit didn't even happen to me, and I seen it from the outside window, and I'm like, oh, okay, that for sure ain't gonna be me. But what happened was my cousin, we were in high school. So he was like 19. And he had got a settlement for an injury at FedEx, UPS, one of them. And then so he got the money, the lump sum of money, and then they used to have these auctions at the Coliseum with the cars and shit. So we went down there, and she was pregnant too. She was pregnant. And so he bought her a brand new Honda Accord. So it was like 20 bands at the time, which was good money. You know, you were teenagers and shit. And we grown though, so that was like on the weekend, like on the Saturday. And then I was over his house and shit on like Tuesday. She was arguing about like the toilet seat and food, and I remember she threw a burrito at the car while we was in it. It splattered over the windshield. Jesus. And I was just like, shit. He bought her a car, and that wasn't even a week ago. So basically that taught me is you can do a big grand gestures for women and think that it's a big deal, but basically what happens is you get mad that they don't receive it the way you would if it happened to you.
Let's go. Hey. Right. I'm not gonna say shit. I'm gonna let Rob and Riley talk. But go ahead.
Because I'm like, you can say though, like so.
Dude, if a girl bought me, but I'm a man though, and that's why you gotta check yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You are a man, because I'm thinking if I just chilling and my girl bought me a new car that cost $20,000, I would pick my battles for that week.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If it were me, I wouldn't even. I'd be in my mind. I'd be like, this bitch eating all the fucking nachos. Damn. But she just bought me a car 3 days ago. I'm not about to address that.
Right. Let her have the nachos. Right.
Yeah. Let her have the nachos. She usually texts me back at like 30 minutes max. This time it was 38 minutes. All right. I'm not gonna be like, what was that? She just spent $20,000 on me. But that's how I think. But I seen through my eyes when it's flipped around, women don't care about that. It's all in the moment. And so that told me like shit. I'd rather a woman be pissed off than feel unappreciated.
Right.
Yeah. Got a lot.
Are you saying that like just like women just have a lot of expectations from other guys and just find it hard because like they have so many expectations when once they kind of get close to you, and that this causes a lot of problems. But like I do know some people who will they feel like they got to live up to a woman's expectation. I have a family member. I don't want to go too much into detail, but he's married and everything. He's like in like a real kind of a marriage like that where he has to go out of his way. The girl's demanding this and demanding that. And he's dealing with it because like he doesn't first of all he has no self-respect for himself, but secondly like I just don't think like he doesn't think he can do better. And I think like when you have kind of like a low self-image of yourself and everything, and you kind of just the guys will just put up with that shit, and it's just totally unhealthy. And I don't try to mention shit. I keep my distance. But Because
Right.
you try to tell people stuff like that, they're blind to it and everything. That
Yeah, well,
hey, you have no self confidence in yourself. You don't think you can do better, and they don't want to hear that, and they'll just put up with the abuse. And go out of their way to meet the woman's demands, even though it's very stressful. And it's been very stressful on this family member of mine, but he puts up with it.
yeah, most women don't deserve their expectations, man. You know what I mean? Like they have these expectations that they haven't earned. They don't deserve to even speak on the expectations they think that they deserve, right? So, they say that dumb people learn from their mistakes. Pardon me, smart people learn from their mistakes. Wise people learn from the mistakes of others. This is why Afi's a genius, right? He learned.
Yeah, he's genius.
Right, he's a genius, right? He learned from his cousin or whoever he learned that from. He's like, whoa, that's not for me. And what he's saying is facts, and what you're saying is facts too. People don't want to hear the truth, man. And the only time the truth is accepted is when you discover it on your own. Like we can be messengers of the truth, right? I can say some shit. You, Afi, Riley can say some shit, and people are not going to listen to it, right? Because they don't necessarily focus on the message; they focus on the messenger. Then there's timing, etc. But at the end of the day, man, like what Fee was saying, man, men want women. This is why we always say men and women love differently, right? We show acts of affection differently, right? Right. So So when Fee said, if somebody bought me a car, my reaction, I'm expecting the woman to react the same way that I would react if somebody bought me a $20,000 car.
Right. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
But we're all different. So men and women love differently. So men need to stop loving women the way they think women want to be loved and just let love be, right? Love is an emotion. It shouldn't be forced. Like, it's like you go in the clothing store. Hi, may I help you? No, I'm just looking. But you'll know when you find it, right? You'll know when you see it.
1950 in the house.
Peace, Mr. 1950. Make sure you guys subscribe to 1950. That's my G. So at the end of the day, man, you can't really force anything. As men, we shouldn't force anything. The only thing that you should force, the only time you should get out of your comfort zone is for your own betterment. A man should not get out of his comfort zone to be with a woman who you don't know if she could be able to handle what your program is. Right? So this is why we, Fee and everybody, we encourage solitude. Riley, you said, you haven't been in a relationship in a while. You're on your journey. This is the best time. This is the best time for you to be by yourself and focus on the things that you want, so you don't necessarily have to compromise. And when you meet somebody who's worthy, who kind of doesn't like, fucking catch up on their fucking rice or whatever, then you can kind of like compromise if she's earned it. But you can't love a woman the way you expect a woman to love her. Stop trying to figure out women. Stop focusing on female nature. Focus on your own nature and let the compatibility, let nature take its course, bro.
I like that, very well said, because, it's weird. I used to think, okay, well, yeah, girls are going to, if I'm in a relationship, I expected her to act a certain way when I did some shit. And, and I got disappointed when, like, she'd react differently to it or just act like she didn't care. And I really like what you said, because when you go off on that journey and you things just become more natural when you can learn to accept yourself and, be more authentic, you can just create that naturally rather than having to have expectations. And I always tell a lot of these girls that I meet, especially when they ask what you're looking for, I say, I don't have any expectations. I just kind of want to be in the moment. Sure, I want to have a little fun, but I just want to see where things go, because I don't like to set expectations, because then it just, it can just like, it can make things more complicated. At least for me, it did. I remember I was reading this book called The Expectation Hangover, and they said, like, that's one of the things they mentioned, is like, how to deal with your, don't have expectations about things. I think when you have expectations about things, that's when things don't happen accordingly, then you get disappointed, then you get frustrated.
I think that you shouldn't have any expectations on anyone but yourself.
Right.
Right, because somebody will disappoint you faster than you can disappoint yourself. If somebody disappoints you, you can't really do anything about it but just get angry. But if you set expectations for yourself and you get disappointed within yourself, you have the ability to fix it and change it. So expectations are a tricky thing. I think a lot of guys put expectations on relationship. They put a lot of expectations on women to not be 304s, to not be hoes and shit like that. Meanwhile, the guys don't even want a relationship. They want variety. They want a lot of bitches. They want a date. So men are very confused right now. They get mad at women for twerking and being on social media, but they don't want a relationship. They want to soar their wild oats. So, like you said, man, expectations are a tricky thing, but you want to make sure you put expectations on yourself. That kind of goes hand in hand with your standards, your rules. I said this on my show. If you're alone, you're feeling lonely, girls are not receptive to you, what are you doing in the meantime? You better be working out. You better be reading books from Afi. You better be getting coaching from Rob. You better be doing shit in the meantime. So when that unicorn comes your way and she's on your program and shit, you're going to be fully prepared. Why do you want to learn as you go along with the bitch as opposed to being prepared? So when you meet the bitch, you're saving time.
Right.
Time is of
I
the
like
essence.
that.
Stop wasting time. It's like guys want to figure it out when they get there. Why not figure out as much as you can before you get there? So that way it's kind of like when you go on vacation. Afi travels a lot. Afi has an itinerary. He kind of knows where he wants to visit, what mountains and shit, what volcanoes he wants to see. You're not going to just fly into a country and shit and figure out where should I go today. It's the same shit with bitches. Get your shit together. When you meet the bitch asks you questions and shit. You already got all her checks marked off, and now you do what you want with her.
Yeah, that's true. What do you have to say, Riley? You haven't said anything in a while. Anything you want to contribute?
No. I mean, AV said everything. I mean, when
Sorry.
are you good, man? No worries. I mean, we
Right.
speak the same language, so no. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to everything, it's trial and error, cause and effect. I mean, it's better to learn than not learn. I mean, it's
Have
like
to.
it's
Give
when
you
we
an
talk
applause.
about solitude, it's like RPC said in one of his old videos, master solitude. I mean, it'd be nice if he was in the comments right now watching this, but that'd be perfect for RPC. But yeah, I mean, it's just, and that's what I'm doing. I'm not rushing into anything anytime soon. I'm focusing on myself. If it happens, it happens.
Good for you.
If it doesn't, it doesn't. I mean, hey,
Yeah.
So
It's all about timing. It's all about preparedness, right? They say it's all about luck and shit, but it's like luck meets preparedness, right? Or timing meets preparedness. It's all about timing. We all get a turn. The sun goes back around, it all revolves. But are you ready when the sun comes back around on you? A lot of guys are focusing and shit that the sun's not here, but you're not even ready. You ain't got your suntan lotion on. You're not even ready.
Right.
I know, I like what you said, because you want to take some time to focus, it's like life to me, it's like I compare it to a roller coaster or a stock market. When you have your ups and downs, when things are, when it's kind of, when you're at a down point, you're waiting for that second high to come, going up that second slope. You want to be prepared and everything.
Right.
And that's what I realized, so when I don't have I'm not constantly up high on the, top all the time. I fall, then I go back up. That's just how it's always gone. But when I go through my down times, I'm always I'm kind of looking within myself, trying to figure out, okay, well, what do I need to improve upon? I'm focusing on my life. I'm not really, and I'm just focusing on like what's important to me.
Yep.
And what do I need to do to move forward? And, and I still continue to do what it is I need to be done, even though things are, kind of like shit, you still got to push forward, but eventually when you take action, just go for it. Like you're going to pull out of that and you're going to be stronger when you go hit that second high.
So let me ask you this, guys. Let me ask Afi this to lead this one off and shit. So worship, and I told Rob this, worship is a strong word. How can a man, or how should a man rather, Afi, show a woman his appreciation, right? Show a woman that he cares. I know it's different for everybody, but give us some broad strokes as far as how can a man show his woman appreciation if she's earned it, right? Worship is a strong word. We don't encourage men to worship anything, but women, we already know women want to feel like they're doing the right thing. Did you like my steak? Did you like my fucking drink that I fixed for you? How can guys do that without overextending themselves?
I'll give you two things. The first one is you got to learn her language.
That's good.
Done. See?
You don't assume all women don't care about purses. All women don't care about how much time you spend with them. Some women want to lay up with you, you assume that it means she want to have sex with you. But the touch, so you want to figure out her language. That way, you know how to reward her when it's
Oh
time.
Lord.
And then the second thing is see if her language is open. Because if her language is open, you can open her up.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
hey,
good.
on your language with each other, and you could also put her up on something. And then when you put a woman up on something, she'll make you responsible for that whole investment and happiness that brought her. She'll leave you responsible. That women don't forget who put them on this stuff. You know what I'm saying? You can listen to these documentaries about these dope dealers and stuff, and watch how like the women they get so excited when they get to talk about when they learn something new or when they got put on game. So, you want to figure out their language, and then you want to see if it's open. Because some women are good women and good chicks and stuff like that, but they're not open. It's like not deal breakers, but they are just who they are. They're not open for change. Whether you got
Right. No, that's true. It depends on who they are.
some women will never have a threesome, and you'll be looking at it like, well, shit, my last five ones did it. They said that they love me, so you should do it too. Like, well, that's against her principle. So it don't matter. She still do love you and everything, but she just not gonna do that. You know what I mean? So that's why you got to figure out if it's open, because you just assume that just because it's there that it's gonna. No, some people they strict on their principles. Some people don't want to have kids. I don't want to have kids, and it's not a situation where if I talk to the right person and they sit me down, then there is nothing that can be said to me.
Right.
It's gonna be like, you know what? I was after having this 1 hour conversation. Now I'm gonna do it. Like, nah, bro. The only thing that can change that is me doing more stuff in my life, and then I feel like, okay, I'm ready to do that because I can focus on it, because I don't have to juggle being a new parent and my purpose. I do all that. I can just focus.
Man, guys,
Right.
listen, that was a major key, man. Afi's basically saying, as a man, you have to learn how to speak multiple languages.
Right.
Multiple languages. Women are all the same, but yet different. And multiple languages with men too. Just being a man. This is why we always talk about being on all cylinders. Afi basically said, you know what? You have to discover and identify your woman or the woman that you're interested in her language and talk to her. This is where game comes in. That is game right there. Learning different languages and being able to communicate and speak her language. Once you do that, bro, you got her, because now she's receptive. Because like Afi said, most women are not open, right? So what does that mean? That basically means that they're not listening to you. They're closed-minded. They don't understand you. You're talking Chinese while they speak English. It doesn't make sense. There's no Google Translate. So once you're a man who understands himself, you understand women, now you can be able to talk to women in a way that they're going to be receptive and they can listen to you. This is why we talk about looks, money, and status doesn't necessarily matter. This is where game comes in, because if you talk all the languages, you ain't got to be 6 feet tall. You ain't got to have a nice car. You ain't got to have a big dick and all that shit. All you got to do is be able to speak her language, and you got her.
Yep.
So
now
I'm walking down the street with the broad, and they're like, yo, how the hell is this guy with her? Because I talk her language. She doesn't speak Lamborghini. She doesn't speak money. She speaks me. So you guys got to learn how to speak multiple languages, and you can have any woman you want, bro. That's game.
And that takes a lot of practice. No, I agree with you. It's all about like learning how to communicate with her and stuff. And yeah, once you can kind of figure that out, you don't need all this stuff about money, looks, or status. And then even if the girl's going to judge you off that, the fact that you care about yourself, you just won't give a damn. You know, you just want to deal with women who are going to give you that respect, and where you kind of feel like there's like a flow of energy going along when you make that connection.
Precisely.
That's what I realized that's been the best. Like, sometimes if I reach out to people on apps or something, and if I just like, there's not that communication, or it's just like dull and obtuse, like I just can't do it. But if I find a girl who's excited and I can flirt and stuff like that, you can understand when I'm communicating that to her. bingo, I'm there, you know?
Hey, you know what's crazy? You guys are opening me up because you know what's crazy? Guys who solely look at hot chicks. Now, listen, we all like attractive women, but guys who look at solely hot chicks don't know how to speak any other languages. They just looking at beauty. But if you understand different languages, you're not necessarily focused on the baddest chick. You're focusing on the chick who's actually listening to your language. You're telling her, or she's listening to you, and you're hitting different buttons. There's a lot of girls who date hot dudes and shit with money, nice body, but they're dull. How many times?
Exactly.
How many
I
times
know
have you guys
exactly
heard that all baddies are starfish in bed? They can't fuck. They look great, but they're dull. But then you get the average chick who you speak her language. You guys have a great time. So it's all about being a linguist. You got to be able to learn how to talk these languages, man.
Right. No, that's true. Like you can want to go after like the super hot girl, but like she could have nothing, no personality
she's
or
dull,
nothing.
right?
I mean, sure, it might be worth a lay, but after that, like if there's nothing else, what else is there? Like it's okay, goodbye.
Yeah. It's like I always say, they got the looks, but they got the brain. That's that's what I say. So
Right. No,
And
I think like too, like once you kind of when you kind of are able to communicate with them and kind of have you'll kind of like you'll get tired of you want to see girls who excite you and everything and who have personality to them because I met up with some girls who had none of that and I realized like when I met the girls who excited me and stuff like it was like really great and like sex was great, time hanging out was great compared to the ones where there really wasn't any type of excitement or no personality to the person.
yeah, we touched on this too, Riley, when you were listening to the content before, FOMO, right? Fear of missing out and shit like that. And when your quote unquote numbers are low or your experiences are relatively low, you think you're missing out on shit, right? So it's kind of like a gangster movie or a particular genre, different actors, same storyline. Right. So it's the same thing with women, man. Now it's easier said than done for guys who have a little bit more experience. But I say that to you or to anybody who feels like they need to have a high leg count like Afi as opposed to having a decent leg count. It's all relative, right? Because at the end of the day, it's all about what you make, what you do. It's kind of like it's not about how much you make, it's how much you spend, right? So you could fuck 1,000 bitches or fuck 20 bitches, but it's all about what you do with those 20, right? And what you learn from those 20. So at the end of the day, man, fear of missing out, a lot of times we put that in our head. We're not really missing out on anything. Sometimes you say, damn, I haven't been out in a minute. Let me go out to a club. And that shit was whack. You're like, why did I go out? I'm hungover. I spent too much fucking money. I didn't like the food. There were no bitches. So it's like, what am I doing? So at the end of the day, man, during our downtime, we all have it, whether you're doing it deliberately or whether because you're not getting any choosing signals from chicks, use that time wisely to learn different languages. So that way you could talk to anyone, any man, any woman, any situation, because life is all about the clothes. People buy people. So at the end of the day, if you don't know how to speak to people, you're gonna be ass out, man, and then you're just gonna be confused.
You're pretty much saying learn when you speak of languages, like learning how to communicate well with everyone and everything.
Precisely. All colors, all ages, all women, because women are people too, man. Don't let them think. Now, again, this is easier said than done. I'm in Miami. It's a very superficial city, but bitches they roll their eyes at me and shit. They look at me like I'm like creepy and shit sometimes. But at the end of the day, it's really their loss, man. And I use that as fuel to remind myself that I'm just because she's not willing to talk to me, I'm going to talk to somebody else to sharpen my skills. Because, it's like prize fighters, right? They're not always going to fight the title fight, but they got to work their way up. So we got to spar. We got to get up there. So if I'm not getting the bitch that I want, I'm sparring with other bitches to get that title fight. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is.
Right. No, that's very well said. But no, I mean, that's just true. I mean, you just got to make shit. I think when you can accept that and learn to kind of develop that, and learn to communicate with others, it makes it a lot easier to communicate not only with yourself but with guys and especially women. I know that's one of the things. Like, my first mentor ever told me, like, probably 4 or 5 years ago, was, just go out there and be social with everyone, learn to develop a connection with everyone. I mean, and you realize that, okay, some people are going to reciprocate to you, other people are not, but you just can't expect everyone to like you, but but still, the fact that you're putting yourself out there, you're going to build that social confidence where you can. It just makes it easier to communicate with someone, and like you said, see if there's like a connection.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Excuse me, Mr. Carter says.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me. We got a lady in the house.
Miss Scarlett, you can do stuff to improve your looks, but personalities are usually set. And if you don't have chemistry, it won't happen with time. Chemistry is there or it's not. I agree.
Mhm.
I agree. You can always improve on your personality, but you have to improve your personality based on you wanting to improve it, not because the bitch is not receptive to your personality. And I don't mean any disrespect, but what I'm saying is, yeah, it's either there or it's not. Absolutely. Who's got time? There's so many women out here. You don't have time to try to convince a woman that you're a cool guy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's not like it's back in the days, man. We just as much access as women have, we have access to. We just got to work a little bit harder. We got to talk a different language. Women don't have any languages to speak. They just listen. They understand language, but they can't communicate. They look at superficial things. This is why they wind up settling when the wall hits, right? They're not even smart enough to know that eventually their ass is gonna sag, cellulite. They're not gonna be as hot as they used to be. Women still think that they're still desirable after 3 or 4 children. But yeah, you got a box, but this is what I'm saying. So we all know that we all understand. I think women understand us because we all want to have sex with them. But men have to understand that a lot of them don't know what they're doing, man. And if you know what they're doing, if you know what you're doing, bro, you're gonna be fine when you pick a woman who's actually interested in you, because you could twirl her ass around like on the dance floor and you'll be fine. I really mean that, man. Like, it's not that serious.
Well, cool, guys. We're gonna get ready to end the show here because we're gonna get going to do some stuff. But I want to thank you guys for coming on. And I'd like for you guys to have your final word before we end the show here. And I'll start with Riley. So, what are your final thoughts?
Final thoughts is I appreciate you guys letting me come on. I mean, it's basically a last minute thing, and like I said, the title said it all, and that's how I'm here in the space. But yeah, follow all 3 of these guys. These guys are fantastic. Rob's awesome. Alfie is fantastic. AV is awesome. I got a website going, kind of, but not really. I got a YouTube channel, but I'm kind of taking a break from it. But yeah, I mean, and whenever Alfie decides to do some more wrestling stuff, and then AV as well, I pop out on
You
this show.
blocking all my videos, bro. I gotta come up. I just drop one every time I do it.
You gotta go and watch AEW, man. Stuff is popping on that now, man.
Yeah. WWE ain't playing. I just did something like a week ago. Block. As soon as it comes back, and I be going on undersites. Still be getting me.
But yeah, like I said, appreciate it, all you guys, as always. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much, buddy.
Man,
and thanks for your insight, man. You did a good job. I think when he reached out to me at the last minute, I'm like, because I know Alpha and Alfie know this guy.
That's why I said if it's okay with them, sure. I don't.
Oh, Jesus Christ, man.
Mm-hmm.
Man, nah, man. It's always a pleasure, man. Rob, thank you so much for bringing me on your platform again, man. Riley, it's great to see you, man. I'm glad you're doing well. I am a phone call away if you need anything, man. Afi, you already know the deal, my bro. I go by the name of AV, aka Alpha Villains. Please make sure you guys follow my channel, Alpha Villains. I got a morning show called Finish Your Breakfast with AV, weekday mornings at 8:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check me out. I appreciate you guys, man. And at the end of the day, man, it's really about yourself. I know that things can be tough. I know that things can be a little bit lonely, but if you turn that around, it's all about perspective. Use your time wisely during your downtime, so when you do have your term, you're ready to optimize your life.
Rock on. Well said, buddy. Thanks for coming on. We'll have to do another show a month from now.
For sure.
Rock on it. Alfie, what up? What do you got to say?
Everybody that you watch, make sure y'all like the video and share it. Drop a comment below. Let us know what you
go.
guys think. You know what I mean? Especially if you on the playback, because you know
Book right there.
you're going in new. So make sure you drop a comment. Follow my YouTube channel. Yeah, for sure.
Better twist it.
Get that book right there. You see, that's the fire book. Somebody said
Oh,
this. Even that kids book. There we go.
Yeah,
Y'all,
you got that kids book. Yeah, I forgot about that.
y'all not. They ain't getting the kids books. Y'all act like y'all ain't got kids. Y'all only want to learn game. That's it. Don't
word. Your single mothers will enjoy that. There he is. Oh,
you got the Terminator one.
hold on. Don't play with me. Hold on. Don't play with me, Riley.
Hold
Hold on.
on.
Let's go. Hold on. Let's
Look
go.
at what this is.
Mm.
There we go.
What do you think all that is?
Let's go.
Yeah. So y'all make sure y'all go to Amazon, cop the books. I just got a good book review from
Ron Wills.
Ron Wills. Yep, I got another one. I put on my stories too.
Be sure to go
Oh, yes.
get the Command Your Confidence book.
Let's
too.
go.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
I gotta get yours, Rob. I'm gonna cop yours too.
Available paperback on Amazon, and you get the ebook
sure,
on the
for
website.
sure.
So there you go.
Yeah, on the book part.
You'll be waiting for your book, right?
I'm working on it, man. Yeah, I'm dragging ass, but I'm working on it for sure.
Slacker.
I know.
Good. Hey, that's good. It's not even there's not even like a lot of groups of friends who can even have conversations like this and playfully, and knowing that we all gonna eventually do it. So that's just a dope thing that you got to understand too. You know, sometimes you get used to your circles and your tribe, and you don't understand the significance of it because it become, it becomes regular and stuff. Until you don't have it, that's when you really know what time it is.
Yes.
No, right. Yeah, I want to thank you guys for coming on. It's been a while since we all had a group stream, so it was good to do this. And
For sure.
Be sure to like the video. A lot of golden content. It's true. Like just everything that we talked about in this video is going to help you guys, get to the next level and learn to love yourself and become more confident in yourself and everything. And be sure if you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I got another show coming up this Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time with At the Sophisticated Man. So be sure to check out that, and I will be setting up the reminder.
Hey, you know what I think you should do? I was thinking about this earlier. I meant to tell you, but I didn't talk to you. I mean, it ain't a secret or nothing. I think you should have like a T-shirt giveaway to get your engagement on your streams up.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
Just put up one up there. You feel me? The 10th person or something, because you got enough viewers to have more engagement. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you got
definitely.
some cool shirts already.
Appreciate you. That's definitely in the works, man. I'm gonna be working on. We talked about this. I'm gonna be working on some stuff for us tomorrow. But yeah, that's a good idea, man.
Mm-hmm. Every seven commenter get put in a raffle or some shit.
For sure.
There you go. That's what you do. Well, hey guys, we're gonna
end like right now. It's 7 people in here. I bet it ain't gonna be 7 people who drop comments after it's over.
7 comments.
Well, the 7 people who are just joining us, you got to go watch the show from the beginning because you missed out on some kick-ass shit. And
I'm gonna share. I'm gonna share it on my channel as well, man. So you already know.
Oh, you're ahead of Avi. I shared it.
For sure.
Awesome, guys. You guys are awesome. And hey, we'll do another show like this sometime next month. And, I think I like getting the group like this together because we're so full of energy and stuff. That that's what I noticed about doing streams here with Afi and Alpha Villains. Like we all got that vibe going. We feed off one another's energy. We kick ass. Even Raleigh you were doing a good job today. So thank you very much.
No doubt.
All right, guys.
Have a good night.
Rock on and be sure to catch the replay. Bye.